Hey everybody, welcome to Halfbeard's Hut's Heads Up. Today we are checking out Mushroom 11. A very interesting indie puzzle platformer adventure. It's hard to classify, so we're just gonna jump in here. I played the first couple chapters. We're gonna go over the first chapter at least again. And yeah, show what is up. So here we are. This is a good way for me to show the gameplay. We are this fungus, a mold most likely, and way we move it, way we do everything is that we are able to prune it, and as we prune it, it grows in the right direction. We can do this big, giant Mr. Clean bubble, or we can use this little more faint one, and we need to just direct it into the place we want to go, specifically into chapter 1. Let's give this a shot. So here we are. We start off with this little ball of slime and have to move our way up. Your goal on each level is to basically just get to the end, as well as collect like organic material, bio slime and whatnot. For score, generally. There's not like a progression system as far as I can tell in this game. There's lots and lots of different stuff to collect, lots of weird bugs and other mushrooms and all sorts of stuff. But as you can see, I collected it. It didn't make me bigger. I don't think I get to use that for anything. I don't get to, like, you know, apply that as a level up or something, but it's a thing. Really like the way this thing grows out. It's very much in the style of actual mold. Have you ever seen like a mold culture grow in a petri dish? It looks very much like that, the way it just kind of like spreads out on every available path. It's very interesting. And you kind of move it forward by just destroying it in a diagonal direction. Gotta prune it up a little bit in order to make it grab other stuff. And you can see, like, let it sit for a second here. I can separate it into two blobs. They will reconnect when they hit on vectors. You can see it is kind of grid-based, but it can exist as two different items, and you can use it as two different items. But then, as you destroy any particular piece, it will then regrow the other pieces as well. It's all connected. It's very high-minded in a way, but interesting to say the very least. Very good world building too. There's no real story here. There's no text or anything. You just kind of it's all built via the environment, and it's a very interesting post-apocalyptic universe where a nuclear disaster has just absolutely wrecked things and made it so that gross, crazy organisms have overtaken the world. Lots of interesting puzzles you can see as well, just to get off topic again, where, you know, filling up that and then going up through there. It's like controlling an octopus almost. We're gonna try to do this. I think there might be something cool up top. Let's see if I can get up there. There's definitely lots of interesting puzzles that ask you to kind of grow in a very specific direction, and it requires very careful pruning. It's very much, there's a very peaceful, almost bonsai-esque nature to a lot of this game, especially as you are trying to, like, climb up areas using this thing, and, you know, having to be very careful, like, not to destroy certain bumps because they are acting as keystones. Like, I can't destroy, oh, that was too much. See, I destroyed the one that was there that was bracing me against that, and as a result I fell down. Oh well, oh god! Got the lava. There's lots and lots of environmental hazards. You know, go into lava, that will destroy your stuff. If you will find poison, and if you go on the poison, it will poison your stuff. And if you are poisoned, then, oh yeah, this is an interesting one. So this one, gotta do that, and then delete there. Have myself go past, and then do that. Like, there's lots of interesting little things there. And as yeah, poison will make it so that you are slowly being killed from the inside. You need to carefully eliminate the poisoned chunks of the ground. Like, there's so much cool shit in this game. It's got a lot of really interesting ideas, and it uses them all extremely well. And you can see there, like, getting myself onto that was a careful matter of balancing myself in a way so that I was on that, and then eliminating the non-important parts of the mold so that it would expand further onto that shelf, then eliminating the parts that are no longer needed because it's farther on that shelf until it was just all on this shelf. Like, it requires an entirely different kind of thinking just to move yourself left to right. Like, it's so extremely interesting. Just the thought processes you need to go through to play this game. It's what makes this so cool. And just watching it grow as well, it's very curious. I really like what this game is putting down, if it's not been made clear already. Go downstairs first. Really wish I knew what collecting that bio stuff did. I don't think it does anything. I think it's just score. carefully get upstairs. Yeah, this is what I was talking about when you're like carefully pruning. Very much again like making a cutting a bonsai tree where you're just carefully getting the right bits off. It's very relaxing, very zen. But then when you do it right and your careful pruning pays off and you end up being able to go up into a place you weren't thinking you were able to get to, it feels really good. In this case, I'm just trying to get up there. And you can see, like, there are special key areas. Like, I can't delete that block or that block. Because if I do that, this thing will stop being braced. If it stops being braced, it stops being able to grow. But now it should be fine to just, yeah, do that. A lot of, like, guessing. Like, do I have enough of the blob up in a place that I can just move it and not worry? Or is the blob kind of precarious enough that if I try to move it, it's going to fall apart and break? It's interesting stuff that way. Grab that, go down a little bit, onto there, and then onto that thing, and further this way. These big reed things, those are checkpoints. If you happen to lose all your blob, that's how you will get it back. That's always fun too, like when you're destroying parts of the blob to save the rest of the blob. Oh, there's just... the stuff that's going on here is just so incredibly interesting. I know I'm kind of doing nothing but praise it, but it's just, it's very fascinating. The one place I can see this getting bad, though, is, I've only seen one area where they've tried to do it so far, but occasionally they will try to do, like, a almost Twitch platforming kind of section where they want you to really carefully and quickly move the blob from one area of the screen to another. And because it is so, bizarre the way just the movement is, that can sometimes not be enjoyable. But you know, those sections are definitely not the whole of the game. You get through them fast enough, so it's not too much of an issue. You kind of don't have to worry about them, but it's still I can see those parts being frustrating at the very least for people. I'm actually going to get rid of that part. We're going to start trimming down. Yeah, like you gotta be careful. Like I'm trying not to eliminate any parts of myself in the lava. I'm going down this way. And later on, you'll run into enemies. There are enemies you'll have to fight, like big spider things that can poison you or destroy chunks of your body. And there are ways that you can absorb them, but you have to be careful on how you're doing it. Like, there's lots of cool stuff going on here in terms of mechanics and how they use those mechanics in both, like, a very puzzly kind of fashion and a more traditional, just like action gameplay kind of fashion. Action platformer gameplay sort of thing. Oh shit! Fuck! Go! 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 You can see the fire is destroying me, but if I move fast enough that I can get that little, like, all you need is one tiny particle of mushroom to survive. If you can get one particle of mushroom away, you're cool. So we actually need to get a part up. We need to get a part over here, so that part should be fine. Actually need to destroy that to the left a little bit. 3 parts is too much. Get that up there. Get that over there. Yep, now that's holding down the switch. There are puzzles where you have to use it as 2 parts, which I think is really interesting. Once it's off the switch, we move up. Like, there are cool ideas here, and they're implemented well. There's a good art style. There are very cool ideas. We looked at a game. We reviewed it. We didn't actually do a heads up of it because it's a Vita game. We looked at a Vita game earlier this year called Hotoro no Nikki, which had a similar kind of aesthetic to this, but had a similarly kind of weird gameplay structure. But where it failed, this game succeeds amazingly. Like, it actually uses its gameplay ideas in a way that furthers the environment and the story and feels smart and interesting. Like, it's surprising. Yeah, I find these parts really fun, where you're slowly trying to, like, climb up the edge of something, and then you're very quickly destroying a chunk so that you can get up faster. Like, the ideas of how they are using physics here is just, it's crazy. It is worth noting you can't destroy the entirety of the mushroom by yourself. The mushroom can only be completely destroyed by an environmental factor. You will, no matter how much you're using your weird bleach sphere, there is always just a little chunk left, so that's important to know. And this is one of those, like, Twitch platforming sections I was talking about, where you gotta move really fast, or you will die. Get up there. I died so many times at this the first time, because the running is, it's hard to get a feel for, especially at first. But once you've got it, you can kind of make it work. But yeah, That's hard, and I can see that part getting really frustrating for people and them not wanting to do any more of it. Also, there's bosses in this game, which are going to be coming across soon. That's super weird, that this is a game that has bosses. How does it have bosses? I don't know, but it somehow manages to have bosses. There'll be one just up ahead. A weird, terrifying one of these plants that has grown out of control. You might have seen screenshots of it, because I believe it is one of the Steam screenshots is a picture of that. It's of the first boss. Again, they're all very puzzly, but they're also very traditional action bosses. They use the standard 3-strike formula and have phases and all the stuff you expect out of a traditional boss fight. Here he is, terrifying fucking plant thing, and we gotta grab its funky pears while trying to keep as much of the mushroom alive as possible so that we can get up on top of it and use and collect more parts of its plants. Okay, I gotta be careful because its fire bullshit will totally kill me like that. Thankfully, this game does the thing that I love when video games do, which is multi boss fight checkpoints. The thing I've collected stays collected. As I collect more of these things, they'll stay collected. I don't have to worry about losing progress at a boss fight. My thing will stay alive. It's a very useful thing. It's something I really like when games do. It's something Bayonetta does that I'm a huge fan of. And the fact that this game has it, especially because it is so, not necessarily luck-based, but physics-based, where a lot of what you're doing is kind of hoping for the right stuff to happen. The fact that it does work like that is very important. It makes what could be a frustrating, game killer, for all intents and purposes, not that big a deal. It makes something that it would ruin this game if these boss fights were not multi-checkpoints. Did not have that checkpoint thing. But the fact that they do makes this totally fine. It makes what makes an interesting mechanic interesting and not frustrating, basically. Get up there, you son of a bitch. Shit. Yeah, a lot of this is learning when to stop destroying in the path of where you're going and when to start destroying from behind. Start destroying other chunks. And now he's dead. Now the weird plant monster is dead. Fuck you, plant monster. Oh, keep destroying. Stay as small a chunk as possible so I can't be murdered. So I have less room to hit. That said, I mean, if I die, it's not the end of the world. That thing will still be dead if I die, because of death points. Alright, let's get the hell out of this level. The boss is always the end of the level from what I've seen. I've only played a couple levels, but still. I just very carefully build myself out. There we go. And then we're just going to start carefully pruning. Pruning myself off to the left. So that I can try to, I can get in. Once I'm in that hole, I can kind of let gravity take over. Because once I start, actually, this is fine. Let's just let the propagation do the work and move you forward. That feeling of propagation as you push through the level and the mold just kind of of its own accord pushes forward. It's incredibly satisfying. Go look up mold videos of mold growing in a petri dish and an agar plate. It grows the same way, and it's very satisfying to watch. It was a visual theme The Last of Us used a lot, and it's very cool. I'm a big science nerd, and that kind of stuff really it gets me going. I like the look of that stuff. Gonna get that weird fucking papaya thing. Your papaya is mine. Post-apocalypse. I'm perfect. The rest of the plant, the mushroom, has started to go up into the hole, so now I can just start propagating it upwards. Let it grow faster than gravity. And I'm not going to finish this level, but I will show a little bit of this level. Because there is some cool stuff in this level. This is where the poison comes in, and the poison is kind of an interesting mechanic. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that's not great. I remember this being one you got to be careful of, because you got to kind of you got to build a plug, like a fungus plug, which is a terrifying, gross term, I'll admit. But a fungus plug to kind of back up here to hold it in place as you start growing it out. Oh, or else that happens, and then you die. And then you die. But, again, not a big deal. Checkpoints. Keep moving a little bit. So yeah, this is on Steam now. It's $16, I believe, is the price. Yep, cool, we're all right. $16.99 in the Canadian store. I think $15 in the American store. Which seems a fair price to me. I think that's doable. And there are a total of, I believe it is 9 levels in the game for you to play around with. And these levels can be pretty long. I got through that one, I just did quite quickly because I had done it before and it is the first level. But like this level here, the first time I did it anyways, it took me like 40 minutes. If you're going to trying to get all the stuff, trying to get all the collectibles, and you are, you know, doing all this, and, you know, actually going after everything, it can take, you know, it's a decently long game, I would say. And it definitely gets oh, yeah! Just full on luck there. It definitely gets kind of interesting enough and confusing enough later on that it becomes worthwhile. This is a fun puzzle. This is where you've got to use the weight of the fungus to knock down this thing. But you can also do this thing where if, like, you destroy it entirely, you can use how big it gets in the air to weigh it down. Like, I don't ever have to go back up. Let it grow up, and then I go like that. Use that to slam it down. Like, there are such neat ideas going on here, and the puzzle solving, it's very organic. Not naughty, and I don't even mean that as like a pun or within the phrase. I mean, it feels very organic. The mental gymnastics you are doing to solve it. The fact that you're like, oh, I don't even need to, you know, do this convoluted thing of simple machines to go up. It's just a simple matter of destroying myself so I can jump. You're making the thing jump, essentially. Like, it amazes me how creative this game is. Nope, nope, nope. You need to stay on the right side, and then we're gonna cut you in half. Keep cutting. And leave a chunk there to block it. Keep this nice and low so that we can stretch it across. Yeah, it's all very much physics-based. It's very weight-based where spreading out weight of a thing, keeping something nice and long and thin can be really useful. All that stuff, very important here. Oh, that's getting a little tricky. Oh, yep, no, okay. I remember this puzzle taking a little while. Yeah, and then that's gonna just fill out. Keep trimming. Lots of trimming. Oh, come on, push over. No, it's not gonna happen. We might end it here, just because I can see this puzzle taking me a while. Oh, never mind. Oh, we got it. We got it. Keep moving. Go up this weird thing. I'm not gonna go for that fly. Remember that taking me a long time last time. I'll go a little bit longer, but yeah, we're gonna end it fairly soon. So this is made by Untamed. It's 15, 16 bucks. There's a soundtrack edition. The soundtrack's pretty good, very ambient, but I feel like this is a place where that works. I generally am kind of sick of ambient soundtracks, especially in kind of indie platformers, just because, oh my god, they all fucking do it. But I feel like it works really well here. Just the general vibe of this is all quite interesting. It's so unique. There is no game, I cannot think of any game that's really like this, that uses these kind of mechanics in such an interesting way. So definitely worth checking out, especially if you like gameplay that is kind of very much of its own kind of thing, of its own type, in its own class, as it were. Oh fuck! No, you can get up there. No, you can't. All right, so yeah, that's Mushroom 11. As always, I've been your host, Halfbeard, and we're out of here. Later, guys.